she loved the song, and I put it on the internet, and then I was in Miami at Club Live. I was a little tipsy, and then Serena came up to me. She was like, "Where's my song?" And I was like, "Oh, your song's coming up." So when I got with the lovely directors, it was, for me, natural through the sisters, but the way that they captured the images and just the realness of what the girls were, felt like it was very inspirational.
So, Mike and Michelle, the sisters are still processing this film. I mean, can you talk about that?
I think it's very difficult when, for anyone. I mean, I like to use the example of when you first hear your voice on, over a microphone or on a recording, you're like, oh! And I think it's very difficult when you sort of see an even-handed portrayal of yourself that's sort of very, very honest. And so I imagine that they're just still, processing on that level. Just, wow, we let these people in our lives for 12 months.
Well, I remember when we showed the Valentino documentary in 2008. Valentino did not want to come to Toronto, did not want to have anything to do with this film. Then he finally made a last-minute decision to come to Toronto and felt the love of the audience and really changed his spin. So I wish Venus and Serena were here to feel the love of this audience. So so the rest of the audience can hear. She was asking about the struggles that Venus has gone through and choices made about portraying that.
Venus really was having a hard time that year, and we'd show up, and she was so gracious. And she'd sit us down, and then she'd just go to sleep, and she'd sleep most of the time. We had no idea what that was, and I think that was just it was such a hard time for her that there wasn't a lot like her struggling through this new illness. We didn't know what it was, and she didn't know what it was. We didn't exactly know what to capture, I think, at that time until she found out and it came out. And so we put in there what we found out when we found it out, basically. They actually give back an incredible amount, and as you can imagine, it's really difficult when you're making a film to choose what to put in. And we edited scenes, unfortunately, of all the amazing things. I mean, Serena builds schools in Africa, and both of them are always going to lower class neighborhoods that remind them of where they came from, and they are always doing these incredible things in kids, and they really, really love this. But we just had to make certain choices about what to tell. Sam, how long did it take to edit it?
We have the great editor, Sam Pollard, here. Stand up, Sam. There he is in the middle.
9 months. 9 months. So Sam did a great job.
Question was how you got this access. How you talked the sisters into doing this.
It took a long time. It took a lot of talking and a lot of meetings and a lot of letter writing and a lot of pleading and just sticking. We say the reason we got it was because we were incredibly tenacious, and we learned that from our news background, and we just never stopped. There were people who sort of died on the sidelines, other documentary filmmakers much more accomplished than us, who were, tried and they just didn't get it. And I think partly the reason was us as a team, 2 women, and we could, certainly relate. I certainly can totally relate to their story on a personal level, and we just sort of eventually, it just came to be after pleading with them for a very long time.
Wyclef, what do you think people will take away from this film? I mean, triumph. When you see this film, you see no matter what you're going through, because sometimes we complain and we take things for granted. I mean, these are 2 sisters that's been through good times, through bad times, and sometimes we got a little sickness and we complaining. And through this film, I mean, you see it makes you understand your human condition. And as long as you're mind and you have very strong parents, I think their parents played a major role in everything that they do. So I think everybody should leave here with like a battery in their back, like, we can do whatever we want to do. Triumph.
Well, you are the first audience to see this film. If you want to vote for it, you can take your ticket, put it in the boxes outside, go out, tell your friends, tweet the world, tweet Venus and Serena. Tell them how much you love this film. Go out there in the world with that battery in your back. Thanks very much to Mike and Michelle and Wyclef for being here.